when we do key features, when we find key features, we're going to do 4 examples. And part of these examples, we're also going to show you how to find the 0 or the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercepts we can see, but if you can't see the 0 or the x-intercept on the graph, I'm going to show you how to find that too. So the first thing that I always do when I'm working on a problem like this, so like this one, I see that I have an invisible 1. Okay, so I'm going to put that 1 there because I need to know what value goes there. So that means my slope is 1 over 1. Remember, when it's a fraction, when it's a whole number, I always put it over 1 because I want it in rise over run format. Okay, so I'm going to start at the y-intercept, which is b, and I'm going to put a dot there. Okay, then I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep talking while I run and get a ruler. I'm sorry, I was unprepared. Okay, now I have a ruler. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to actually connect those points up. And, you know, if I want to, I can continue the pattern going in the other direction. All right? So now that I've got the line, I am going to connect my points. Okay? Now, on this graph, okay, just pretend that that's a straight line. I can see where the x-intercept is. It's right there. My y-intercept is right there. So I know my slope. My slope is 1. My y-intercept is 2. My x-intercept is -2, 0. Remember, a 0 is called a 0 because its last name is 0. Like, I'm Maggie Deal. I'm a Deal because my last name is Deal. This is a 0 because his last name is 0. He's part of the 0 family. Okay? When I write the 0, I just write the number. What is the starting point? Well, again, the starting point is also the y-intercept, so it starts at 2. Well, f of 0 means when x is 0, what's y? Well, when x is 0, y is 2. F of x equals 0 means when y is 0, what's x? Well, when y is 0, x is -2. Okay? That one was really easy. Now let's look at this one over here. This is a little bit more challenging because the 0 is not obvious. So again, I start with my slope of 1 over 5, and that's rise over run. Okay? Then I have my y-intercept at -4. So I'm going to put a dot at -4. I'm going to rise 1, run 5. And then I'm going to just do the same pattern back in the other direction. I'm going to fall 1 and go back 5 so that I can see the line very well defined. Okay? So there's my line. My y-intercept is easy to find. Okay? My 0, I can't find my x-intercept because I can't see it. It's all the way over here somewhere. My starting point I can find, not a problem. It's -4. When y is 0, when x is 0, y is -4. Now I got to figure out what is x when y is 0. Well, to find that, I'm going to have to actually use the original equation and substitute in. So when y is 0, 0 equals 1/5 x minus 4. And I have to solve this equation. I add 4 to both sides. I get 4 equals 1/5 x. To get rid of a fraction, I multiply by the denominator. 5 times 4 is 20. 1/5 times 5 is 1x. So 20 is x. Well, that means my 0 is 20, 0. I'm sorry, my z is 20. My x-intercept is 20, 0. Okay, let's try another one. All right, this one is -4x minus 3. So my slope is -4, which I'm going to write as -4 over 1 because I'm going to rise -4 and run 1. Now remember, my line, this line should be going downhill. So if I'm doing my rise over run right, I should see it going downhill. Well, my y-intercept is -3. I'm just pulling that straight out of the equation. Okay? So let's graph it and see if I can see my x-intercept. Well, my slope is, my y-intercept is -3. I'm going to fall 4, run 1, which kind of puts me off the graph. So I'm going to continue that pattern, back 1, up 4. Again, all I'm doing is continuing the pattern, or up 4, back 1, up 4, back 1. Okay? Now, here's the problem with this one. When I actually look at these points, my 0 is a fraction. You see, it's somewhere in between here. Now, if I had answer choices, I'd say, well, it's between 0 and -1, and I'd look for the one that was between 0 and -1. But I don't have that information. So let's fill in the rest of it. Starting point is always my y-intercept, so it starts at -3. When x is 0, y is -3. Now I got to find out what is x when y is 0. So once again, I'm going to substitute in. 0 equals -4x minus 3. And I do the same process I did up here. I add 3 to both sides. 3 equals -4x. I divide both sides by -4. And I get -3 over 4 equals x. Well, I mean, 3 over -4, I don't like that. So I'm going to do -3/4 equals x. Okay, so that means my 0 is -3/4. When y is 0, x is -3/4. And my 0 is at -3/4, comma 0. All right? Now this last one, y equals -x. This one's pretty easy, okay? So that means if I put all my invisibles, it will be -1x plus 0. It means my slope is -1, my y-intercept is 0. So that's -1 over 1. So I start at 0. I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. I know I'm doing this right because my slope should be negative, and it is. Okay. Okay. Now, and there's my line. Go me. Now, my x-intercept. Well, where does it cross x? At 0, 0, the origin. What's my 0? 0. What's my starting point? 0. When x is 0, y is 0. When y is 0, x is 0. Okay? Because it's proportional. When it's proportional, my x and y intercepts are both going to be 0. I hope this was helpful.